All right, I just want to get on here and give my 2 cents on the Tua situation and my personal opinions and beliefs, and just have a discussion with you guys. As you guys know, if you haven't seen Tua, you see it here. Got a concussion yesterday, and he kind of ended like this. This is what it looked like. So this is full speed. His hands start spasming up. Very scary situation. Now, we've seen Tua get 3 concussions in the same season last year. In the same season. That's very dangerous. Now, I know there's 2 sides of things. There's always there's always 2 sides of every situation, right? From my personal experience, I've had a few concussions in my basketball playing days, and those are they take that pretty serious, especially in college. I remember in college, I was in practice, and I came off of a DHO. I was guarding a DHO. And the big had his elbow out, and I ran right into the elbow. And I finished practice. I get to my dorm room, and as soon as I turn the light on, my head just starts ringing. And I told coach, I was like, man, I think I might have a concussion. So I went to go take the concussion test. Turns out I had a concussion, so I had to sit out a whole 7 days. I couldn't be in light, couldn't really look at my phone. It sucks, but that wasn't my first time having a concussion, right? So looking on the football spectrum, right, or on the football side of things, it looks way more severe. Now, the 2 sides of things that I'm talking about is this. When you become a football player, you know the dangers that come with it. It's a gladiator sport. It's one of the most physical sports in the world. So when people can say, or when people say, I think Tua should retire, they're entitled to their opinion, right? But then there's that other side that's saying, well, if you think he should retire, you don't know what it takes. Like a football player can tell you right now that the Tua situation is tough, but at the end of the day, you don't know what it takes to go out there. Like, it's not just a switch that you're like, this is my 4th or 5th concussion. I think I'm done. For a lot of people, it's not like that, especially in football. You know what I'm saying? To play football, you kind of already have to have a screw loose a little bit. You got to be a little bit off the rocker to go out there and be as physical and violent as possible for 2 hours, and they have to go off the field and shut it off as soon as you get off the field. You know what I'm saying? It's really crazy if you think about it. So for Tua, he might be thinking, man, I'm going to take my 7 days to 14 days off, come back and play football again. But for us, the modern day consumer, we're saying, you know what? Even I tweeted it. I said, I think Tua should consider retirement. Like, the sport is no longer worth it. I'm saying that from a place of, man, I don't want to see somebody like in front of my eyes, like I'm watching them on TV, continue to have concussion protocol after concussion protocol after concussion protocol, and put their livelihood in danger for years to come, because CTE is a real thing, right? But then on the other side, you have football players probably out there saying, you know what? I know what Tua's going through. I've had concussions. Let's talk about football 20 years ago. I'm sure everybody on the field is playing with concussions dang near every game. The concussion protocol back then wasn't as severe as it is today. Right? So when an OG talks about football and NFL, I feel like they're coming from a place of what they played in, and it is different time, different day and age, different tax brackets that these players are in. They're getting paid way more money, way more guarantee money than there ever has been in the NFL. So when they say, like, it's not as easy to flip the switch to just, oh, man, another concussion, I'm done. It doesn't work that way. And I kind of feel what they're saying on that, because we don't know. We don't know what it's like to suit up in the NFL. A small percent do. We don't know what it's like to suit up with these professional athletes at the highest level. You know what I'm saying? Only a few of us do. So from hindsight, not hindsight, from the outside looking in, we can say what we want to say. But when you're actually in the situation, I think it's a much more difficult decision than we think. Now, I did see something on ESPN where they're talking about, man, he has like $93, he can just walk and be good for life. Yeah, I get that. But competitors, man, like something with competition, it's low-key a drug. I dealt with that after college. I was like, man, I had nothing to compete for now. After I hung him up and I walked away from basketball, I struggled for a little bit. I was like, man, I need something to fill that competitive void. So as a competitor, it's easy to say, I got all this money, I'm going to just walk away. But then you're like, nah, I want more from my career. I want more accolades. I want more this and that. So sometimes it could be a give and take culture when it comes to professional sports. But at the football level, you see people make a lot of money, fight through a lot of crazy injuries just to come back on the field because it's just that void you can't fill with anything else. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I hear both sides. I hear he has the money, he's good for life, but I also hear the sides like he signed up for this, right? He might be the one to make the decision to say, nah, I'm going right back out there because I want more for my career. I want a Super Bowl. I want this, So at the end of the day, we can say we want to say, but we are on the outside looking in. We're not Tua. A lot of us never played NFL, so we can give our opinion, which I feel like everybody, has an opinion, and that's fine. That's okay. But we got to look at both sides of the spectrum here. Sacrifice, last thing I'm going to say, sacrifice is a huge thing here because he's sacrificing his life every single night he goes out there. Every single football player, whether it be from high school to college to the NFL. Every day you go out there, you're risking life or death. Like it's a violent sport. Okay, it's a risk. And then when you keep getting injured and you keep coming back and going out there, it's another risk that you're putting yourself in danger for your family, for your future family, just to provide. And that's very commendable. But at the same time, too, I definitely pray that everybody out there can continue to think about the bigger picture when it comes to sports and injuries. Sports are not the end all be all. It's a very small percent of your life. You have so much life to live after sports are done. That's just the cold hard facts about it, man. But I hope Tua definitely bounces back from this. Whatever decision he makes, that's his decision, and we should support it. At the end of the day, he's a grown man, and he's going to make the decision that he sees best fit for him. Now, J.J. Watt had said something, I believe, down here. I want to listen to what he said. Another NBA legend and vet. Let's listen.
I've seen a lot of conversations last night and this morning about Tua needs to slide. He's got to get down. He knows he can't take hits like that. I feel like a lot of those same people are the ones who would be crushing him if he slides and comes up short on 4th down in the red zone when his team is trying to muster any semblance of a comeback that they can. It's a bit of a double standard, in my opinion. Everybody wants to see modern-day gladiators, but they don't want the guilt that comes along with it. So they want a guy to lower his shoulder. They want a guy to power through. They want a guy to get the first down. But then when he does that and gets hurt, they all want to take the opposite side and say, no, he should absolutely slide. He's got to protect himself. Why would he do that? First, let's take a look at the logistics of the situation, because I've seen a lot of armchair quarterbacks saying he had to know he had the first down. Quarterbacks always know. Before the play, absolutely. Quarterback looks over, knows exactly where the sticks are. Once the play starts, he's dropping back. He's looking through his reads. He's scrambling up through the line. There's no yellow line on the field. He's just trying to get to where he thinks the first down is. He's in the middle of the field between the hashes. So he's doing his best. He's not 100% sure he has it, and there's a defender right in front of him. So trying to give his team a chance to have a comeback, he lowers his shoulder and tries to make a play. Gets the first down, and obviously an extremely unfortunate situation occurs. But to watch everybody sit here and act like, oh, he's got to get down. Oh, he has to slide. We always want our players to slide in that situation. To me, that just, having been on the other side and having known what it feels like for fans to criticize your every single decision, it just doesn't feel true. Because if he doesn't do that, this morning the narrative is he's not tough. He's not a leader. He doesn't deserve the big contract. That's why Tua's not the guy, because he's not willing to lay it on the line for the team. So all I'm saying is just keep that same energy on both sides.
Wow. Mic drop. Very, very well spoken. I've nothing to say. That had me looking at it from a way different perspective as well. Wow. J.J. Watt, man. J.J. Watt, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that was pinpoint the way he explained that whole situation there. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. That's my spill. Man, it's an unfortunate situation. It is. And wish the best for Tua, whatever he decides. Peace.